From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning here on Mornings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people under the fourth stimulus recon, and why Purple Hawks are going to clean up royally in this fourth stimulus recon. Then we cut to the world exclusive, broke this week, and what one person says and why his statement is so important in the equation about the MSCs. Someone wants to give you an MSC, and he's the number one guy in the equation. I'll have all those details and more in this recording. Then we cut to the incredible details across the board about what is happening with your incredible fourth stimulus and what you need to know going forward. There's so much happening across the board. It's a great day, and the toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and it's time for Mornings LA. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Santa Monica, California, with incredible details about your fourth stimulus check of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks coming to the American people across the board. There's so much happening in a big day across the sea and across the land. Then we'll be cutting to the incredible details about what's proposed in the fifth stimulus and everything you need to know starting right here, right now. It's a big, bold, beautiful day, and the surf is up. The toast is toasting. The butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and it's time for Mornings LA starting right here on this recording. How are you? And I'm so excited for you to join me across the board. Boy, what a day it is. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or a Calcino VIP. Let's get right into those monthly stimulus checks started right now. House versus Senate, Senate versus House, and what people want to give you. And you're going to meet three new cast of characters in this recording. Monthly stimulus check. When you look at the proposals, let's see what they say. We have Warren, Sanders, and Wyden calling for a monthly stimulus check monthly, but they don't say the number of checks, and they don't say the monthly amount. Then we have AOC Omar calling for a $2,000 monthly stimulus check, not saying the number of checks at all. Then we have the House Ways and Means calling for a monthly stimulus check, not saying the number of months or the amount of checks. We have the American petition signed by millions of Americans calling for a monthly stimulus check. But then the one that's captivating a country is, of course, the incredible House bill. Pandemic plus 1 year, which would be the first month $2,000 and $1,000 thereafter. Well, today I introduce you to a new cast member, and her name is Freedom Frida. Freedom Frida has a opinion about everything, and it's freedom of speech Frida, and she also has a strange eyebrow. Watch for the eyebrow. There it comes. There it is. Freedom Frida has a fake fact to spur across the board, and one of the fake facts she has is that the House bill proposes $2,000 a month for pandemic plus 1 year. Untrue. So which one do you support? House or Senate, House or Senate? Vote in the live chat right now which one you like. House or Senate, House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from. We'll meet Frida a little bit more in this recording. Who gets his fourth stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that if you got a third, you get a fourth. Single individual, $75,000 or less, you would get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Democrats represent, you would get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you would get a fourth stimulus check. And finally, if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Democrats represent, you would get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. But if you are at the beach and you see a check come up to you this weekend for Labor Day weekend, waving at you sporadically, it's not the U.S. check, it's the French check. They're very friendly. And if the check comes up to you and kisses you on two cheeks, it's the Italian check. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over the incredible details about that fourth stimulus recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks coming to you and the American people. And then we'll be cutting to the big push as one man wants to give you MSCs. And we'll go over what that means for you starting right now. But first, get a pen and paper ready because we're going to get some big money right now. And this is money from third stimulus. And this is where Freedom Frida comes back. You know, have you seen Freedom Frida? She wanders the supermarkets carrying hordes of cash in her hand. And she just sort of winks at you with that strange eyebrow. And she says, why are we talking about third stimulus? I want to know when fourth stimulus is landing in my hand. When? I don't think she has an extra space to put some checks in her hand. Well, the reason why we talk about third stimulus is this money is available now. Right now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. And last week, 3 viewers started the week at $0. 2 of them ended the week at $40,000, and 1 ended at $80,000. Here are some success stories which came in overnight. Incredible details. As Kyra reveals, she got $17,000 over from this channel last week. Congratulations. Valerie this week says she got $9,000. Great job, Valerie. Dawn reveals she got rent, utilities, electric, and gas. She says, thank you. Heart, smile, heart, kitty cat. I don't know what the kitty cat's for, but thank you for the kitty cat. I really appreciate it. Our inspiration comes from Johnny. Johnny last week was at $0. He started the week at $0. By the middle of the week, he was at $40,000. But by the weekend, he was at $80,000. What did Johnny do? He picked up the phone and kept on calling, and he got 7 items by the week. $80,000. You can be the next Johnny. He got $12,000 for SNAP, $10,000 for EIDL. He got $2,000 for taxes. He got $20,000 for housing and another $25,000 for housing, $9,000 for electric, and then he got $50 a month for power and phone and internet. Grand total, $80,000. So let's get that big money for you right now. This is money available for you right now. And when we start with the rent. The money for rent is going really big. Why would you not get this? Viewers on average are getting about $20,000 for rent. Let's look at the graphic. It's deliciousness. Oh my goodness, look at that. Incredible. $20,000. Purple Hawks are killing it. Now, why would you be Freedom Frida and walking around the supermarket with hordes of cash talking about forced stimulus when you could be walking around with $20,000 in your hand for rent? Then when we turn to our incredible money for utilities, oh my goodness, look at that. Johnny getting $9,000, so he's bringing the numbers higher than ever before. Then when we talk about Purple Power and SNAP, incredible. Now you're going to meet in a second someone who got $25,000 for this as well. And then for 3 items, oh my goodness, Nancy getting $32,000 for 3 items, and Nisi $23,000 for 3 items as well. Mark got 2 items at $32,000. Mark reveals to us 4 wonderful things from his story. Number 1, Mark in 5 days, after I prodded him on camera 5 days saying go get the 3rd item, SNAP, got SNAP. In less than 5 days, he got SNAP. Incredible success story. Number 2, he told his neighbor, watch this kid. And his neighbor went from $0 to $20,000 of rent in less than 5 days. In fact, that happened last weekend as well. Shanann member, Purple Hawk of 2 months, said, I told my friend about you, LALATE, and she went and on your channel, and now she's addicted. She received $21,000, $9,000 for rent, $5,000 for utilities, and $6,000 annualized for SNAP. Incredible, great news. Number 3, Mark is coming back and getting more items. So he's not stopping at 3. He sees Johnny getting 7. Mark's going for more items. And finally, Mark got that incredible money for SNAP. How much did he get? Mark got $19,000 for SNAP, bringing his grand total on this channel to $50,500. Congratulations, Mark. But guess what? The sky is the limit on this channel because there's Lorraine who got over $105,000. This is what we do on this channel because this is LALATE. We've been doing this since day one. In April of last year, the EIDL loan and grant went live, but people were not getting approved. Their applications were stuck in what I call the 330, 331, the 48 vortex. And one after another, I got their applications approved. $25 million of EIDL loans I got approved, doing their applications on air and off air. 3 days later, people needed help with another application. It was called PUA. At the time, no one had heard about it. It went live in some states on April 28th. I started reporting on it on April 25th. Some states like Florida and Texas did not go live initially. So I got viewers like Eileen Bellenkamp eventually 2 months later, $15,000 for PUA, a very confusing application. I explained it one at a time on camera, answering people's questions. But then in fall of 2020, second stimulus was not coming. There was no $600 stimulus check. So you needed money for the holidays. And I stepped forward and I got that money. I got viewers a fortune, $250,000 for rent, paying all their rent from the fall to the spring, like Tyrone, $15,000, $16,000. And now you're doing it better and bigger than ever before. Because guess what? Fourth stimulus is not laying in your bank account this week. And for anyone who's in a chat or a comment that just has the contribution of saying when, don't do that. Because this money, 50,000, 40,000, 100,000, 30,000 is available now. That's the win. So pick up the pen and paper, and you're going to get this big money starting right now. We're going to get some rent, utilities, food, internet, and mortgage assistance, and I'm going to show you how to get it. Here's some introductory remarks. Number one, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Each place has different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. Number 2, if the first one says no, keep on pushing, because they have different pots of money. Number 3, listen to the keywords I say in the video. It really helps keep people approved. And finally, every state has the same amount of money based upon the number of residents. Here we go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority. 2, your county hall, your county housing authority. 4, and your state hall and state housing authority. 6, and the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say a word they don't know, like stimulus or, Michitini. They don't know those words. And there you go. Congratulations, Tim and Linda, who got this wonderful pot of money. If you got a rent and utilities, post in the live chat right now. The next pot of the money is the money for SNAP. It's incredible. It comes from Department of Agriculture, and it's money for food. Reach out to Department of Agriculture for it. Eligibility is very easy. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. And Mark got $19,000, but Mark is now looking at seeing $25,000. What? You heard it live on this channel last week. Department of Agriculture is raising everyone's benefits up a lifetime automatically, an average of 25% nationwide. Oh my goodness. So if you got SNAP as well, post in the live chat right now. The next part of the money is the refund check coming back from your state due to overpayment of computer error of unemployment benefits. Average viewers are getting about $3,000 to $5,000 on this channel. And the great news is that the federal government has also ordered the states to upgrade the computer system. Perfect timing, because yesterday Microsoft announced Windows 11. Just in time for those states that are running Windows 10. Not Windows 10, but Windows 1910, when you had to rub 2 sticks to make fire to turn on the computer. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the last pot of the money coming back from IRS for the refund check on that 2020 unemployment benefits. Margaret got it, Todd got it, Michael got it. And the average payout is about $1,200, $1,400. Johnny got $1,800. One viewer over the weekend got through $2,000. More about that in a second. But here's a personal message from me to you. This channel was launched for me to get you money, not to track money. And when you are in the live chat, make sure you post your success stories for rent, utilities, food, or internet, because you inspire so many people. You really help people. This channel is all about me helping you and you helping others. And when you post your success story in the live chat, you inspire people to pick up the phone. All it takes is to pick up the phone and start getting these sums of money. And now we're seeing these numbers are going bigger and bolder than ever before. So post your success stories, because then people are inspired to get those big sums of money. People like Art Sullivan and Nisi got 3 items. They're inspiring countless people to get 3 items. And now Mark and Johnny are inspiring people to get more than 3 items, go to 7 items. And then we realize there's sums of money that were never available, we never thought about before. A lot of people never heard of Snap until they found this channel, like Larry Maui out of Miami. So post your success stories in the live chat and help inspire other people and help them right now. And finally, when is that refund check landing? Go to irs.gov, do a transcript search. 70% of the time it will work. It will reveal the refund check you're getting, the check you paid, the refund, the tax return you filed, and then 70% of the time it will reveal stuff you wish you had never seen. Like, what does Freedom Frida do for arm exercises? Because those hands are just, always carrying those wads of cash around all the time. And can we top that? Yes. As we go into the second part of this video, starting right now, deal done, signed, sealed. A $3.5 trillion recon is a done deal. It happened last week. The Democratic caucus passed a recon of a price tag of $3.5 trillion, which means 1, there's going to be a recon. 2, it's going to be $3.5 trillion. 3, it's going to be almost all application-based checks for you. More about the IRS checks in a second. And it's all going to be for you, whereas first, second, and third was this small and mostly all for corporations. Someone in the live chat on Early Mornings LA right before this said, Yeah, I heard Bernie Sanders talk about the prior stimulus packages earlier this yesterday, and he said the previous ones was all about corporations. Very true. So how do we get to this wonderful spot, and what is this recon, and how does this work? So let's go over all the incredible details right now. And in the final 15 minutes of this video, I'll go over what application base means, so you understand how to pounce. We got to the space by taking roads and bridges out of the recon. The higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, and put it into the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller, says a conservative publication, confirming my reporting. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. There's different types of reporters you can follow. One that reports news after the fact, or one that reports news before the fact. I report the news way before the fact. And in June and July, I told you that the recon was going to pass. Why? Because the Democratic caucus met and agreed upon a price tag, agreed to do it, and agreed there would be all checks for you. So that when the vote happened, it was a blink of an eye. And that vote happened last week. It was a blink of an eye. Done, deal, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion dedicated for you in this recon. And that's why going into those negotiations 2 months ago, they said, we need a big enough recon. That is why Ilhan Omar, Democrat, Minnesota, and Representative Richie Torres, a Democrat of New York, said, we need a larger recon. We need a recon that goes as big as balls. We want it. They got it eventually, $3.5 trillion. That is also why Jalopal and Brian Schatz were told by the president, protect the recon, because everything in that recon is checks for the American people. Progressive checks and progressive priorities. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What is a recon procedural? What is a recon substantive? Let's go over all the incredible details right now as the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Time to pick up the tow hitch. Well, recon is your money. Bipartisan is not your money. So recon is also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill. Price tag $3.5 trillion, also called the Democratic spending plan or the progressive social reform plan. Bipartisan is not your money, called infrastructure or roads and bridges. Well, the tow truck has passed over the finish line. Congratulations. So recon procedural is done. Now time to do recon substantive, the tow hitch. Time to go pick up the tow hitch. What is the difference between recon procedural and recon substantive? Let's go over the details. Larry Pringle on Noontime 2 days ago really said this very well. So recon procedural is the price tag, and that money is going to be given to committees. $3.5 trillion done. And that committee number 1 will have $10. Committee number 2 will have $20 done. So recon substantive is a little bit different. That then says, okay, now that committee is given the money, how is it going to spend the money? As Larry Pringle said yesterday at noontime, this is where you got to push Purple Power because they're going over the terms and conditions, seats for stimulus. Make sure you push and make sure you say to them, hey, you need to spend the money the right way. Very well said, Larry Pringle. I really appreciate that. So how do we get to this wonderful spot? By taking roads and bridges out of the recon and calling the vote. And that's what Jalopal had asked. And the letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we are going to be demanding monthly stimulus checks. Wow. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Oh boy, Purple Power, now you got to push. You got to push because guess what? That is one of several groups that want to give you monthly stimulus checks. Let's look at them again. We have the senators who want to give you stimulus checks, Wyden, Sanders, and Warren. In that recent letter, they don't say the amount or how many months. We have the House bill, which is $1,000 after the first month, pandemic plus 1 year. We have the House Ways and Means we just went over. They don't say the amount or the duration at all on a monthly basis. And then we have AOC and Omar saying $2,000 a month, but not the number of months. And of course, how do we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful spot by Biden going overseas about 8 weeks ago and taking something very confusing out of the recon. It was the global minimum corporate tax rate. Now making the recon passable. Making it easier to call the vote, write the bill, and get it to the finish line. And can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, we'll go over the incredible details about the world exclusive broke this week on this channel. The #1 guy on the MSC wants to give you MSC, and we'll go over why this is such incredible great news, why you're only hearing it here, why broadcast media has really dropped the ball in the reporting, and why you're only hearing the details on this channel. We'll go over the true narrative narrative and the fake narrative. We'll go over Calendar Colleen's opinion of the situation and Calendar Cod as well. And then we'll be cutting to fifth stimulus. So much happening in the final 15 minutes of this video. But first, I want you to get one item from third stimulus. I want you to get rent or utilities or food or internet. Do not just call up to the volunteers and have them do do not reach out to the volunteers and have them do everything for you. I want you to take the information you learned from this video and apply it to get at least one item. Because then when you do, you have the skill set. You are ready to pounce under fourth stimulus. Because fourth stimulus will be about you reaching out and getting items. And once you've gotten that one item on the third stimulus, you're going to be so ready on a fourth stimulus. Here's a little bit about the volunteers, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as Mornings LALATE heats up a Labor Day weekend. And guess what? I'll be with you all weekend long. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. We cut to the recon, a done deal signed, sealed, and we'll go over what those application-based checks mean for you and how you're going to pounce as a Purple Hawk under this fourth stimulus recon. Then we go over the incredible details about the MSC and what this means for you. And then we meet our new cast of characters as Freedom Frida is back with her freedom of speech. But is it helpful or is it confusing? And also, we check in with Calendar Colleen and Calendar Cod. And with that, thank you for joining me on a Big Mornings LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers at YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Meantime, if you haven't signed up for those LA alerts, you need to do so. Over 1,000 of you are still in the confirmation mode, so you have not yet confirmed, so you may not be getting the email alerts yet. It's at news.lalate.com. Put your name and email in, then look for that confirmation email. It may be in the spam folder or maybe in the Google Promotions folder. If you don't see it, try it again and start ready to rock and roll. And you can get those alerts on the road or wherever you are. Earlier today on Early Mornings LALATE, someone asked me about the eviction moratorium, and I said that was detailed in the alerts yesterday. So let's cut to the incredible great news about fifth stimulus, which is just days away. First, they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. And this legislation starts in September, out the door by a vote by about November. First, they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime, then remove the asset limit, add inflationary benchmark, and remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. How does this work? Let's go over all the details starting right now. It's for you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Step one is they're going to raise your benefits up a lifetime. Step two is they're going to apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. Where is inflation going? It's going to be transitory, meaning it's going to spike up in December approximately and then come back down. How high? I'm saying about 5%. Let's do the analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. And that benchmark could be 5%, which would be another 5% above that as well. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away. They're going to remove the income cap, dating back to 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. It's going to go away. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest and do a pair dance at the wedding, like Rob and Sandy. Finally, will there be a fifth stimulus check? There will be. The House Ways and Means Committee represents there will be. And lastly, if you're in the live chat and you don't have a Purple Hawk emoji next to your name, what are you doing? You need to become a member today. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. The link to join is under the video. Daily, I deliver to you a breakdown of all the big money under first, second, and third stimulus. Here's what's at issue here. Is that freedom of speech. Frida likes to walk through the supermarket with those dollars of bills in her hand. She can't really buy anything because her hands are occupied with those dollars of bills. There they are. And then she'll give you that strange wink of that eyebrow. And then she'll say, why are we talking about third stimulus? When is fourth stimulus coming? The reason why is because fourth stimulus is not landing this week. But $40,000 to $100,000 is landing this week from third stimulus. When third stimulus passed, a $1,400 stimulus check, I immediately said, okay, $1,400 stimulus check, okay. But there's a lot of other money I can get you under this third stimulus package. I said at the time $14,000. Purple Hawks are now getting massive sums of money. Viewers daily are getting $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 because this money is available for you today. You qualify for it. So pick up the phone. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage assistance because of COVID, and utility assistance because of COVID. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now. Deal done, signed, sealed. $3.5 trillion of checks accompany the American people under the fourth stimulus recon. This recon is a done deal with a massive payout of $3.5 trillion, all checks for the American people. Now, let's go over what application-based stimulus means versus not application-based. Application-based stimulus means you pick up the phone and you ask for the money. It does not mean you fill out a 50-page form, but it also means that you do something, then ask, when is it landing in my direct deposit? Because application-based does not just land in your direct deposit because they don't know you need it. Here are some of the examples of what are application-based. These are some of the items proposed under the fourth stimulus, and then we'll do the analysis after that. Checks for free school meals for all, checks for tax breaks, checks for cheaper prescription medication, checks for farming, checks for free internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing care, checks for seniors. So you see, for example, IRS, you may have been used to sending out automatic checks where you don't have to do anything. But IRS can't send out a check for your vision or your dental. They don't know about your teeth or your eyes. They don't know about your internet. Those are money available in committees. And that's why we had that graphic early in this video where we talked about recon procedural, recon substantive. Those are the places the money is going to be under this fourth stimulus recon. They're giving money to these committees so that those committees can have that money ready for you to come and get, and they can send it out to you. When we look at that recon procedural and recon substantive, committees are given a proportion of the $3.5 trillion for you to come and get. And now, once they're determining the terms and conditions of how to spend that money. So you'll pick up the phone and you'll go get that money. You've been doing this since day one. This has always been how how stimulus 1 through 3 worked. Whether it was EID or PUA or PPP or PBT or SNAP, you've always picked up the phone and called and gotten sums of money. And as a Purple Hawk, as a viewer of this channel, you're going to kill it under fourth stimulus. Because look at Johnny early in this video. He got 7 items. That was 7 different places and 7 different items. You're going to do really well on a fourth stimulus because, again, these are very different items. Internet versus teeth, very different items that you'll qualify for, and you'll pick up the phone for each of them. You won't stop at one because there'll be lots of different items for you to get. And imagine if Johnny's getting $80,000 from 7 items on the third stimulus is this big. That was 80% for corporations. Imagine how much money you can get on a fourth stimulus that's this big. That's all for you. It's incredible, great news. There you go. That is how application-based stimulus works on the fourth stimulus recon. Now, is there a push to put stimulus checks in there on top of that? And stimulus checks, of course, come automatically from IRS. There is. Now, let's go over all the incredible details starting right now. It's important to understand that over the last few months, I've shown you how everyone from AOC to Wyden and to the House Ways and Means Committee has been urging and talking about a monthly stimulus check. And along the way, someone like a Freedom Frida would say something like, well, I haven't heard anyone talk about a stimulus check. Well, where are you getting your news from? I'm getting my news from broadcast media. What is broadcast media doing? Nothing. Are they picking up the phone and calling up the senators and asking them, are they doing a stimulus check? No. And so because broadcast media has done such a horrible job reporting the subject matter, people just rely upon that incorrect information, that false narrative, and then think that there's anything there about to learn about. Had broadcast media picked up the phone and called an actual senator and asked, are you doing an MSC? Then you would have had the answer, yeah, I am. And that's what a viewer of this channel actually did several weeks ago. WR, viewer of this channel, when urged to push and call up his elected officials for an MSC, picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, and asked how actually push for the urgence and the importance of an MSC. The staffer to Chris Coons said, well, thank you, but he already is doing an MSC. See, it just takes a phone call to ask. It just takes a phone call to push. The staffer told WR that Senator Chris Coons was already drafting MSC, multiple stimulus check language, for the fourth stimulus recon. Do you think the broadcast media would have had the common sense to pick up the phone and call and ask the same question? No. So what did they do? What did they do? They relied upon search engines as a scope of their journalistic reporting. That's not journalism. That's nothing. So then what happened going into last weekend? What happened when going to last weekend was Bernie Sanders said on the record, I want to hear from you. Now, you may know Bernie Sanders from Mittens. You may know him as a Democrat or a senator, progressive. But did you know he's a chairman of something? You probably didn't. What is he a chairman of? Bernie Sanders is a chairman of the Budget Committee. Oh, what does the Budget Committee do? The budget. And what budget bill? Did you know that the recon is also called the Reconciliation Budget Bill? The Reconciliation Budget Bill? Yeah. And the Budget Committee? Yeah. And he's the chairman of the Budget Committee? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you probably didn't know that. So what did Bernie Sanders say last weekend? He said prior budget chairmen sort of just do things in the D.C. Universe, but I like to get out amongst the people. I immediately said on camera, that means he wants to hear from you. He wants to hear from you about how to do things under the budget bill that's proposed. Now, I immediately said, pick up the phone and call. Lynn Glenn picked up the phone and called. Other viewers, a few, picked up the phone and called. Not a lot initially. But do you think the broadcast media picked up the phone and called? No, of course not. Absolutely never called. In fact, Chuck Schumer said, Majority Leader of the Senate, that he's working on drafting the language of the recon this week, calling Bernie 4 to 5 times a day. Ron Wyden yesterday says, we're working on the recon substantive this week and all weekend long because we have a lot of stuff to do in September. So we're working on this around the clock. Do you think anyone picked up the phone and asked Ron Wyden, what does your drafts of the bill look like so far? No. You think anyone called up Chuck Schumer and asked? No. You think anyone called up Bernie Sanders and asked? From broadcast media? From this channel? Yeah. And what do we find? Bernie Sanders is proposing a monthly stimulus check. Well, hello, there you go. Had you picked up the phone and called, you lazy broadcast media, you would have actually had the answer in there. What happened? A longtime viewer of this channel, Brother Joshua and former volunteer, picked up the phone, called Bernie Sanders' office in D.C., spoke to the staffer and said, I want to talk to you about the importance of a monthly stimulus check. The staffer said, Senator Sanders is proposing a monthly stimulus check. Well, hello, there we go again. So what are the provisions? Let's go over the provisions right now. 1, monthly stimulus check. Yes. Number 2, a range of a potential price tag of between $1,000 to $1,400 a month. Yes. And then a range of a duration of about 3 to 6 months. Yes. But there was a catch. The senator's staffer said Bernie Sanders needs your support to get this out the door. He wants to make sure that you, the Purple Power, have his support to do this. The American people have his support. Well, Purple Power, this is what we do. This is what we do. Every night, 11:30 on this channel is a rerun of the hit show Purple from 2020, which talks about pushing, talks about social advocacy. And this is what we do. We did this in 2020. When people were not going to give you a stimulus check in the CR, I came up with the idea of putting a stimulus check in the CR, and we pushed. We pushed and we got it. He wants your support. to get this out the door. There you go. Pick up the phone and call Senator Sanders' office. Be professional, respectful, and kind and polite. Say, I have your support. Thank you for your kindness. Go on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, hashtag LALATE, hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. I'm from LA. I support you, Senator Schumer, Senator Sanders and Senator Schumer. And go on his website. Also, Senator Schumer wants to do this. Also, Ron Wyden. Also, Elizabeth Warren. They need to hear from you. They need to hear from you. And let's go back to Freedom Frida. There's another type of Freedom Frida out there, unfortunately. And there's another type of Freedom Frida out there, not a lot of her, with that strange eyebrow. Oh, we missed it. It's coming in a second. Freedom Frida, I guess you would call her the $24,000 Freedom Frida. You may have seen her on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. I've seen her. There's not a lot of these. This is the $24,000 Freedom Frida. Who is this? There's some people who are on Twitter that say the following things. Reject Bernie Sanders and demand $2,000 a month, as the House bill said. Okay, that's totally Freedom Frida. Fake facts. House bill was never $2,000 a month for a year plus pandemic plus 1 year. Should we pull up the graphic? Let's pull up the graphic. The House bill was $2,000 the first month only, and $1,000 thereafter. And you can't say you didn't hear me say this, because I've had this House bill on this channel for 3 months, 12 recordings a day. So it's not like you can't have heard me correctly. I've only said this 1,000 times. It's $1,000 a month after the first month of 2000, pandemic plus 1 year with a minimum of $13,000. You've heard me say $13,000 1,000 times on this channel. But some people, fake facts, on social media saying, I need $2,000 a month for 12 months, as the House bill promised me. Now, it's fine for you to advocate for whatever you want to advocate for. I'm certainly behind you advocating for whatever you advocate for. But don't say the House promised you $24,000 of stimulus checks, $2,000 a month for a year. They never did that. That's not what the bill says. And moreover, anyone who says, I reject Bernie Sanders, you know what you're doing there? You're rejecting the guy who's in charge of the budget bill, who's on the budget committee, who's the budget chairman. Rejecting? No. So what are you left with? Who's going to advocate for you? Now, you can propose a different amount if you want, but don't say I'm rejecting the person. That doesn't make any sense. Now, let's do some calculations, because Freedom Frida doesn't really do this either. She doesn't have a room to hold a calculator, because she's carrying all those dollar bills in the cappuccino and the calcino every night. 6 months at $1,400 a month is about $9,000. $9,000 versus $13,000. It's not that big a difference. It's not that huge a massive amount for you to say, I'm rejecting it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This is where someone who is the number one guy on the budget bill wants to give you a MSC and wants it to be monthly. And your response is, I'm not going to do anything? No. Need to push Purple Power. This is your time and place for you to step up. Now, yesterday and the day before, you met the other two cast of characters, and they have something to say about this as well. Here she is. She's Calendar Colleen. It's September. It's September. What are they doing? It's September. Yeah, did you know it's September? Does Bernie know it's September? Calendar Colleen, you do not help the conversation. By repeatedly saying what month it is, you don't help anything. It's September, but it's September. I got it. We all own a calendar. We all have a cell phone. It all says September on it. So repeating that September doesn't really help anyone. September's a very busy month, as Ron Wyden already said. They got a lot of legislation to do. And Ron Wyden just yesterday said that they're working tooth and nail around the clock on this recon right now, even into the weekend, because there is so much other stuff to do in September. So you don't need to remind anyone it's September, golly. It doesn't really help. And then we have her, the person she's marked dates with, Calendar God, with that also a strange eyebrow. Watch for the eyebrow. There it is. There's that eyebrow. He is not the Bachelor. But what does Calendar Cod say? You know what Calendar Cod says. Whatever happened to July? Whatever happened to July? Whatever happened to August? Well, it just passed. But do they remember July? Whatever happened to August? What happened to July? Let's understand, Caldecott, that when you looked at the Senate proposal originally, and when you look at the House bill originally, it's still the same number almost that we are with under Bernie Sanders. It's just starting not in July, but starting, when it starts. And so repeating whatever happened in July or what happens in August doesn't get anyone anywhere because these are legislators. The EIDL grants and loans, people are just getting paid them now from April of last year. People are just getting paid a lot of stuff that is weeks late across the board. It's just always been that way. It's the government. They just move slow. And finally, one of my favorite ones, I almost forgot it, but I want to say it. Oh boy, do I love this one. Freedom Frida's most fake fact that you have seen spurring all over comments of this channel is the following. But they gave themselves raises. Nancy Pelosi gave herself a raise and Bernie Sanders gave himself a raise. No, they didn't. Who told you that? Tucker Carlson? No, they didn't. They gave their staffers a raise. The W-2 employees that can be fired tomorrow, that often do get fired. They gave their staffers that work in the office a raise, not themselves. They're there for until they get voted out or get reelected, and they're paid by us, the tax dollars, at a stock number. They did not give themselves raise. They gave their employees raise that they may be gone. At the time of this video, maybe they were fired. So they did not give themselves raise. And there you go. Coming up next is Morning's Crypto. So much happening across the board. Then we go into noontime LA at 11 a.m. So enjoy the week. We're going to have a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot of stuff and a lot of news all weekend long. Because, yes, they're working on the legislation as well. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you proud of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member, because it's September. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay here as LA continues with Morning's Crypto in 5 minutes.